What is going on, everybody? Welcome over here to the channel. Today we kick it off with episode 22 of the Montana Cattle Ranch series. So sit back, relax, smash that like button, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget we are doing a giveaway, information in the description below. Let's get to it. What is happening, everybody? So today we kick the episode off on July 1st over here on the Cattle Ranch series. And I'm going to adjust something really quick. So I'm using a new recording software for these videos. And if you guys see anything or notice anything, if it's better or if it's worse, comment down below, please, because I am experimenting with it. And I want these videos to come out great. So I'm hoping that this software does marvels. That's kind of my hope anyway. But today we have to get our grass fields cut as well as our alfalfa fields. They're both ready to go. Even our new one across the street is ready to go. And it looks like we may be back to normal numbers after this cut. Well, right now it's saying... See, it goes from like 0 nitrogen up to 110 and back to 0. So, I'm kind of hoping that numbers go back to normal after this. Cross my fingers. But we actually get to use our new MacDon header today. And MacDon. Now, I've used this on a couple other playthroughs just to kind of experiment with it. I'm still not sure if I'm understanding the whole swath pickup on this for grass. If you guys have or used the MacDon at all and have any experience with it, do you get the grass bonus from just picking it up with a forage wagon, or do you have to use a swathing header to pick it up? That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. If you guys didn't know, comment down below. That would be an awesome help. But let us go ahead and turn on the radio, and let's get this field done. I can't decide whether or not that is faster than the Crone or slower than the Crone. My guess is it's a little slower, even though we're covering more width at a time. But I'm not too sure. I was trying to figure that out. And then, for the life of me, I could not figure out what was going on with that spot of alfalfa. For some reason, it would just not cut that part of the field. I don't know. That's very strange to me. Now, I don't know if that's a bug from precision farming. I could very well be, but I'm not too sure. And I gotta remember the controls here, but we gotta flip this thing around in order to haul it. I'm pretty sure. Maybe? Oh, wait a minute. I think we gotta be this direction. We'll figure it out here. We'll get it. I feel like Austin Powers in the tunnel. Back and forth, back and forth. But we got it. It's gonna take me a minute to get used to this MacDon, but we'll figure it out. And something else I was kind of thinking about, not exactly sure if I'm gonna do it, but I was thinking about putting in another hay dryer, so that way we can I can split up the hay and I can split up the silage instead of trying to figure out when I have to turn it off and like switch it over. I don't know. Kind of a thought. I may go ahead and go through with that. I think it'll be easier in the long run. Although I kind of need to check out our TMR mixer over there and see if that can mix up hay. Because if it can, then I'll just split these up and have one do silage, have the other one for hay. And I took that turn all wrong. I just didn't want to end up snagging our alfalfa. And so far, I'm not really seeing a huge increase in the yield. Like, this is about the time we would fill this trailer up normally. So I'm not too sure if you get the bonus for grass or not. Matter of fact, let me finish this row. Get that little bit. Let's back this up. And let us open the menu here for a minute. Go down to the MacDon. So this will do grass, alfalfa, clover, and all the, wheat, barley, canola. But then, okay, so that's the mower deck. We don't want that. See, if we go over here to the pickup header for swath rows, I'm not seeing one that's grass. I see like we've got canola, wheat, barley, and then sorghum. I'm not too sure what this one is, but none of these other headers do that except for the MacDon. So I don't really know. Plus, I don't think it would work on grass. I don't know. This is a whole new learning experience for me, and I've never used the swathing, what would you call it, the special header to try to pick any of this up. Really, dog? Really? Can you believe this? You know, one thing I'm very curious about is I was just kind of looking at the hours down at that we have on this tractor already. And I'm curious to know, I'm trying to figure out which tractor I'm gonna have the most hours on by the time this series is done. I have a feeling it's either gonna be the 8R or the RTX. Now, I'm kind of leaning towards this tractor because I seem to use this more than I do any of the other ones. Like, it's my go-to for, you know, using the forage wagon, or typically it's my go-to for baling as well. But I'm going to start using the other 8R that we have for that. But I don't know, I'm just a fan of the double duals and this tractor. Now, I wish it could pull a grain cart better, but you know, you can't have it all. I'm curious, what is your guys' go-to tractor in the FS25 series? Is it a modded tractor? Is it a tractor that pretty much have been in here from day one? What is it? Just kind of curious. Figured I might as well go ahead and start making some hay, because that is our lowest amount that we currently have. We've got about 208,000 liters of silage, a ton of straw, a bunch of mineral feed, but our hay is definitely lacking. Now, this thing runs pretty quick. I'm just hoping that by the time I fast forward into the next day, or calendar day on here, that it doesn't use all the grass to make nothing but hay. Because we still need to get, come on, turn on. We still need to be able to split it up between the two. Just about done here. Couple more rows to go. Well, a row and a half. Hopefully, I'm probably gonna have to empty before we go to this next row. But that'll give me an opportunity to check on this TMR mixer to see whether or not it makes silage or hay, because that would help quite a bit. And then something else I forgot to add in the beginning of the episode. So we ended up selling off all the digestate, as well as the, I think it was methane and the electrical charge, and we're up to $207,000. I forgot to mention that. So let us go ahead and check this. Okay, this is just for TMR, so that doesn't really help us. And here's the rest of the first field. Got a pretty decent harvest off it. It was definitely over 200,000 liters. We will take that. I'm actually kind of surprised at how well that single grass field has done for us so far. I was pretty worried in the beginning, thinking, you know, we wouldn't have enough, but now I think with this field, for now, we should definitely be okay. And it would help if I turned things on before I started. Whoops. Let's go back to the beginning here. I do that all the time. I use my keyboard to drive, and I'll sit there and start paying attention to the recording screen, and I don't realize that I'm doing it, but my weight of my other finger on the WASD keys will push down onto the D or the A, and I start drifting, and I don't realize it till I'm already off course. I do that so often. Definitely seems like this field is a lot smaller when it comes to the grass yield. I kind of thought it was close to the same size. Like, I know it's not quite there, but I mean, this is a pretty good sized field, and we've barely technically filled 2 forage wagons. And I mean, the first one wasn't completely full, nor is this one. I'm curious the acre difference. You know what? Let me just take a quick look. So, field size is 7.37 acres. Oh wow, it is a big difference. That's almost 4 full acres. So, 3-acre difference. I mean, it makes sense that it's almost double. I didn't really think it was that much bigger. I was wrong. And here's the rest of the second field. Let's just go ahead and take a quick look. So, I think we started with 45,000 liters of hay, roughly in there. I could be wrong, but I think it was close to that. And we've got 355,000 liters of grass. So, if I can time this right, I'm going to do about 250,000 liters of that made into hay, and then the other 100,000 liters turn that into silage, just so we can kind of keep the numbers close. I just got to be able to pay attention to it and not forget about it. That's going to be the key thing. So let me go ahead and switch over tractors, and we will get to baling this alfalfa field. Alright, we've got everything set up. I was kind of prepared for it this time. So, bale size is good. I think we are good to go. Let's go ahead and knock this field out really quick. You know, I keep meaning to reset the bale counter every time I do this, and I forget every time. And then I start and it's like, I remember and it's like, a little late for it now. Although if I had to guess, if we get the normal amount of bales, my guess is it's around 23 to 24 bales that we'll get. But if using the MacDon header, we should see an increase by, what, 4 bales? If it's 20%, I'm sure I'm probably off. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's kind of what I'm hoping to see by the time we're done. I'd like to see if we get about 28 bales. And if that's the case, well then the MacDon header was worth it in my opinion. Maybe it's just me, but it kind of seems like we are getting more bales this go around. I'm not keeping count. But it definitely seems like there's an increase. Hopefully it is true. Well, we missed a little bit here and there, but for the most part, we've got it all. I'm just gonna go ahead and eject this bale. It's at 89%. I'm okay with that. Normally I'd just leave it in to the next harvest, but not a big deal. So let me go ahead and grab the truck and trailer and get all this loaded up, and I'll meet you down at the co-op. Well, it may have worked. We ended up with 27 bales off that, which is pretty good. I'm gonna have to go back and watch one of my older videos just to kind of see if we did actually make more off that. I feel like we were right there. I think we're at like 24, 25. Now, I could be completely wrong, and it is what it is. But I will have to go back and check. But let's get these sold off. Ooh, that seems about the same amount of money we were making, though. So 31,000 for the bales, plus an additional 1,700 from the environmental score. Well, I think that's where we're going to call it on today's episode of the Cattle Ranch series. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you can do me a favor, go ahead, smash that like button, maybe hit that subscribe. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.